In this tutorial, we are going to learn how to set up LayOut. When you install SketchUp Pro 2019, it will also install LayOut. When you first launch it, you'll get this welcome screen, and you can see here there's a few templates to choose from. If you go to more templates, there's even more templates to choose from. So if you click on title block, for example, you can go down and find any type of template to begin from, and you can always modify it to be your own. So for now, I'm just going to use the A3 template, and if you put a little heart next to it, you can set it as your default template. If you haven't licensed your SketchUp yet, or LayOut, you can do so down in the bottom left-hand corner, or watch the first tutorial on how to install SketchUp to learn more. If you need to open a recent file, you can click on the little squares here, and you can see the recent files that will appear. If you want to learn, you can also go to the SketchUp forum, campus, or SketchUp videos, and also you can visit our website, procadsys.co.nz. So let's go back to files, put a little heart next to the A3 template, and then click on the A3 template, and that will launch that template. So it's a fairly basic template. It has 2 pages to it, so if I just minimize these dialogues on the right, you can see we have a cover page and we have an inside page. So first, let's turn on a few extra toolbars that aren't typically on when you start up LayOut. So if you go to View, Toolbars, Customize, we can now go to Commands, and I'm going to drag on the new toolbar, or the new icon onto the toolbar to create a new layout file. I'm going to drag on the Open, so I can just open files directly into LayOut. I'm going to click on and drag Insert into the screen and Save. Another couple of icons that are handy is Undo and Redo, as I'm sure you can imagine. And next I'm going to just keep scrolling down until I find the ones that I want. Grid Snap is also a really good one to have. So you can snap to the grid of LayOut's page. Zoom to page is very handy, so you can fit everything back onto the screen. Duplicating a page is very handy. Deleting a page is also quite good to have. Object Snap is very handy because you need to be able to snap to the SketchUp model when you want to be drawing. Showing the grid is helpful as well, so you can see when you do have Grid Snap on, whereabouts it is snapping to. And I'll just keep scrolling down, see if there's any extras. Zoom Extents is also a good one to have. Okay, so once you've added those to your toolbar, you can click Close, and they'll now stay at the top. So if, for example, you want to make this template your own, you could go down here and you can see author name. We can go to Text, Customize Auto Text, and you can see author, and then we can type in your name or your company name. And if I do that, don't enter, just try and leave it like that. We can close it. If I click on that, you can see it's red. So if I show you under layers, it's red, it has a red outline because it's on every inside page layer. So whenever we create new pages, this is going to show up on every page. You can do things like right click on that, and then you can center that vertically so that it's perfectly in the center of your screen. And you can customize all of these texts by using Customize Auto Text. So if I double click on that, you can see it has a tag, project title. So if I go to Text, Customize Auto Text again, project should be in there somewhere. Oh, project title. Probably can see it. You guys will be able to see it. There we are, project title, and you can say layout tutorial, and it will now update. Okay, so that's the power of auto text. So back onto the front page, if I want to add my own logo, let's just delete this logo here. And I could go insert, and I'm just going to go to where we keep our logos. And I'm just going to group by type so I can get a PNG white logo. And where is one? Here's one. And I'm going to open that. Okay, so then if I drag the corner of that image down, I can hold shift as well, and it will lock the aspect ratio of it. I want this black bound, or this black border behind it, I want that to go to the very edge, so I can click on that and just drag that to the far left and it will snap to that edge. If I didn't have object snap on, you can see that when I try and drag it to the edge, I can't snap to it. So that's why object snap is really handy. You can click on that, activate that, make sure it snaps to the edge, and the same with this other outline. I can drag that also, click on my logo now, and then I can put that up into onto the screen. And another thing is, you can, when you're moving that logo, I can use my arrows to just nudge it around to make sure I get it perfectly where I want it. Same again over here. I could actually do both of those things at once. I could select from right to left and cross over that. Then I could drag the two out to the right. And then maybe I just want to position these. Oh, they're pretty fine actually, but up to you. If you want to move them around, you can also move them around. So you can add in your address or the project's address into there as well. So we've just made a custom change to our template. If we go to the next page, I'm quite happy with that also. So if I was to add a page, you can see down in the bottom right hand corner, it's now given it automatically page number 2. So that's very handy. If I delete that, of course, that then takes that page away. Another thing I like to do before saving my template is changing the way my text and dimensions are styled. So if I click on the text tool, it's always important to just have a look at text style. Make sure they're at the right size that you want on the page. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. So you first have to activate the tool, so the text tool, then you need to change the size and then it will be remembered. Same for the label text. If I go and click on that, I activate the tool, I change the text size, now it will remember that text size. If I need to change the dot at the end, if I want to make that an arrow, again, activate the tool, go to shape style, set the start arrow to an actual arrow, and then test it out before you're happy carrying on. If the head isn't big enough, you could again make sure the tool's active, set it to 0.2 or 2 points, and then you've got a larger arrowhead. Activate the dimension tool, and if you don't want to use dots at the end of your dimensions, so typically in architecture we use forward slashes, you can do so with it active first, then go to dimension style, and you want to make sure it's in millimeters, precision 1. I like to turn off the display of the millimeter units on my dimensions. I like to use no leaders personally. And what else do I want to do? Okay, oh, text style, that's right. If I go to text style, I'll make it also 11 points for my dimensions. So I'm just going to do a quick test and just double click to see how that's looking. So that's quite good. If you want your forward slashes to be larger, again, make sure the dimension tool is active, and we can make those forward slashes large so that you can see them quite prominently, so that they look quite crisp and clear. Okay, so we can now zoom to page. A nice little shortcut to fit to the page. If we turn on show grid, you can see that's the grid that we're working to. So when we turn on snapping or grid snap and we draw, it's actually snapping to the grid and all those intersecting grids. So turn off grid snap typically for when you're using layout to begin with, and then you can always turn it on when you start working with layout. Okay, lastly, what we need to do is we need to save what we've done as a template. So we need to go to File, Save as Template, and I'm going to call it PCS, and I'm going to save it into the My Templates folder, and then click OK. So then you need to close that. So whenever we go and start a new layout drawing, we go File, New, it's going to ask us to choose a template, and then you'll see My Templates now, and you can make that your favorite. So let's try that one more time. File, New. Won't show up necessarily on the front, but if we go to My Templates, we can now click on My Template and it will start it up. Okay, so hopefully that's been informative, and that's essentially how we can set up layout and create a template.